I've always thought of rum as a liquor served in souvenir cups with dainty paper umbrellas. In my search for the serious side of rum, I'll visit Celebration Distillation, where they make Old New Orleans rum. I'm with Ben Gersh from Old New Orleans Rum. Ben, how did a scrawny Jewish boy like you end up down here making rum?
Well, we're actually a company that's owned by a local artist, James Michalopoulos. He spends half the year in France, and he actually goes there for a good portion of the year, and his friends were making distilled spirits, and he wanted to make one. Then realized, here we are in the heart of sugarcane, we should be making rum.
We've got this big old barrel of molasses here, which is what your rum is made from.
Yes, we make rum the traditional style. We use molasses to make our rum. This molasses, we're very fortunate, actually comes from just 85 miles up the street in Gramercy, Louisiana. We really try to stay as local as we can with this product.
What happens to it next?
From there, what we do is we'll pump that back to our mixing tank that's back here. In our mixing tank, we mix just 4 ingredients: water, yeast, molasses, and water. By using molasses, we have a very low fermentation in terms of alcohol. I think that's why you see a lot of other people that are making rum are using refined sugar. The refined sugar is like a buffet for the yeast. It really allows it to explode and turn a lot of the wash into a high alcohol content fermentation. We actually do a double distillation process here. If you look over here, this is actually our version of a pot still. Most places you'll see this really big, beautiful copper still. This is actually an old milk canister that we had a heating element added to it and have turned it into our pot still.
The low fermentation wash then moves from the pot still to the column still. Can you tell me how this thing works?
What's actually going on in here is the alcohols have an actual fingerprint. Like their boiling point is their signature in nature. The ones with the lower boiling point come out first, and the ones with the highest boiling point come out last. I think as a column still, it was actually a little bit different than a modern column still. We actually have the copper packing inside the column that allows us to give a surface area that we need to actually have a still that allows us to develop a touch.
And what do you do with all the stuff that you boil off that you don't necessarily want?
Well, the impurities are actually the flavor components that make the rum a rum. Otherwise, we'd be making a neutral spirit.
So what happens after it comes out of the still?
White Dog, it's called. It's about 185 proof, and that is the raw white rum that's really ready to be processed to be called the finished product white rum. After this, it gets going through a carbon filter, where activated carbon actually takes out the last little bits of impurities that will set our flavor of the rum exactly like we want it.
The filtered White Dog goes into bourbon barrels for at least 3 years for their aged rum. It's then bottled, labeled, and enjoyed.
Yeah, it feels great to be able to take what we have here and put it to use in a way that's very unique, that actually has a soul.